Welcome to my house. Welcome to the Structure Talk podcast, a production of Structure Tech Home Inspections. My name is Reuben Saltzman. I'm your host, alongside building science geek Tessa Murray. We help home inspectors up their game through education, and we help homeowners to be better stewards of their houses. We've been keeping it real on this podcast since 2019, and we are also the #1 home inspection podcast in the world, according to my mom. What's up, Tessa? Time for another episode. Good to see you on here today.
Good to see you too. What are we talking about today?
Today, we're going to discuss a recent blog post I did. This was a ton of research, and it's extremely educational. And wait a minute. No, I'm just kidding. there's no educational value whatsoever. I did no research. However, I did have to sort through a lot of old photos to come up with this blog post, which we are converting to a podcast. I don't know how good a content this is going to be. This is all about our favorite notes and signs and warnings left behind by home sellers. But you know what? We could read them aloud. I think it'd be interesting to go over this. I think it'd be funny. What do you say?
I think so too. Yeah. And this is just for entertainment value. If you want to see pictures of these signs, check out Reuben's blog on our website.
Yeah. And we will put a link to this blog post in the show notes if you'd like to follow along. And we'll go through all these signs in the same order. That's what you can do if you want to see them. But Tessa, why don't you start us off with sign number 1?
Before I jump into that, I was just going to ask you, how far back did you go in our library of pictures? I mean, like, how many years? Are we talking like pictures from the last year or two? Or are we going back like 10 years?
15 years.
15 years.
2008. Yep.
Wow.
I think that's when we first set up a Facebook account and started doing a Facebook photo of the day. Was sometime in 2008. And that's how far back I went through these photos.
Oh my gosh. So this is like the best of compilation for 15 years of content. Thousands of homes.
Yes. And I've got 15 notes. So we're really setting this up. These better really be great. We're surely not going to deliver on how we're setting this up.
Well,
we'll try.
I was going to say, you know what? I'm sure there's hundreds and hundreds of, pictures of hilarious notes that we've taken over the years with our team, with the team, and with all these houses that we inspect. But these are just the ones that popped out to you and I'm sure made you laugh when you were going through the library.
Yes. I love these.
Okay, so this first one, someone went to the trouble of actually like typing out a note on their computer and printing it off. And it says, home has been winterized. And then underneath it, they hand wrote in quotes, best possible. And how did they spell possible, Reuben? Can you spell that?
Possable.
Well,
yeah, they're close.
Close enough. We all know what they mean. And then underneath it, it's typed out again, do not use. And this is not posted on a sink or on a toilet. Is this just posted like on a front door?
It's on the front door. Yeah.
Do not use means what? Don't use the house?
Don't turn on the water. I think that's what it means. Don't use any of the fixtures. But the part about best possible really reduces my confidence. I mean, when I see that, what I hear is the house has not been winterized. Like,
what does that even mean?
It means I got paid to winterize the house and I wasn't sure exactly what to do. So I did what I could, and there's probably some water still in there. So whenever the water does get turned on, good luck. You're probably going to have leaks. That's what I'm hearing.
Best possible. That's hilarious. Yeah, and the spelling doesn't give me any extra confidence in the person that was doing winterizing.
No, it does not.
Yeah, not a lot of faith. What's the next one say? Can you read that?
All right. Next one, and this is along the same lines, and these photos surely come from about 2008, 2009, back when everything was a foreclosure. Everybody was winterizing houses, and you had all these vacant houses. This one, it's got a picture of copper piping, and it says, "No copper here anymore!" Exclamation point. And then in blue, it says, "Stolen." And then it says, "PEX only." And then in parentheses, "That's plastic. Have a nice day." So
have a nice day.
Have a nice day. So this is a note to potential copper thieves, telling them, hey, don't bust into this house and try to steal all our pipes because someone already beat you to it. Someone done gone and stole all the copper out of this house, and there's nothing left for you. So don't even try it.
And
so
for you thieves that don't know what PEX is, we're going to tell you it's plastic.
It's plastic. Yes, exactly. Delightful. Love
Oh
that
my
one.
gosh. Wow.
Yep. Next, what do we got, Tess?
Looks like a handwritten note with blue marker that's been taped to an electrical panel.
Yep.
Is that correct? The exterior electrical panel? And it says, be careful. Some circuits are mislabeled. What?
I love it.
What would you do if you're inspecting that panel and you see that?
Well, number one, mislabeled is misspelled.
Misspelled,
so
yes.
I'll take your word for it. I'm sure that plenty of our are mislabeled. And I would take a picture of the sign and I'd say, don't trust the labels in the panel. The seller clearly has told you that they're not labeled right. But if you're going to go to the work of doing that, like, why not just go ahead and label them right? I mean, I know it takes some time, but here's the trick. You get a stereo, you plug it into an outlet, and then you turn it up loud. You go to your breaker panel and you start shutting off circuits until you hear your stereo turn off.
Hey, that's a smart trick. My
dad taught me that a long time ago. Very effective.
That's a good nugget. Thanks, Neil.
Yep.
The thing that cracks me up about that is they write be careful instead of just saying like some circuits are mislabeled or saying like, you know, the labels are not 100% accurate. It's like be careful.
Yes. Love it. Now, along those same lines, I got another panel. Now this one, it's kind of the opposite though. You know, on a lot of houses, you'll have those tags that real estate agents will put all over the house, kind of highlighting some features of the home. Like, this home has a jacuzzi. Look in here. Right. Open the closet. There's this in here. Well,
or in-floor heat.
Yeah, exactly. All these selling features about the house. Well, this one, it's the first one we've ever seen like this. And the selling feature was clearly labeled electrical panel.
In a very official looking note. It's been typed out. Yeah.
Yes. And so this real estate agent has surely seen mislabeled circuits on a lot of home inspection reports. And they're like, all right, home inspectors do not like seeing this. And we're going to get in front of this one and we're going to call this a selling feature. I've never thought of this being a selling feature, but I'm not criticizing it. I still love this. Like, it's really good for you. Yep.
I wish we had a picture of the inside of that panel to go along.
I was just thinking the same thing, Tess. Like, was it printed out and color coded?
Yeah.
I want to know.
Yeah, me too. Okay, the next one says it's a picture of there's two light switches and then there's a outlet right next to it. And these two switches, one is labeled, it has disposer labeled on it. The next switch says, do not touch. This means you, Bree.
What has Bree been doing? Man, she must be touching a lot of switches she's got no business touching.
And someone went to the trouble to like actually use one of those label makers.
Yes,
so it looks like
this
to
is
print
not
these
just
things out.
handwritten.
Yeah, so you have to get really close to the switch to be able to read. This means you, Bree.
Yeah, this is serious. Bree, you better keep your hands off those switches.
Bree, if you're listening and you know what this means, will you please tell us?
You know what? I've got another one. It's very similar. Now, this didn't have all the thought. This was not done with a label maker and nicely cut. It's just a Post-it note, and it's on a window, presumably above a sink. And it says, Eric, no dishes in sink. You won't go to jail, but you will go to hell. That sounds even worse.
Oh.
It sounds even worse.
I wonder if this is a roommate situation. I hope it's not a marriage situation. This reminds me of my college days.
Yeah, that is a serious problem.
Oh. Yeah. Well, the next one looks like it's a picture of an actual diagram inside an electrical panel. And it's showing which circuit is what. And the first line, it says, what does this say, Reuben?
Well, it says world pool. It's a pool for all of us.
A pool for all of us.
It's a pool for all of us. I love that. Yeah.
They must have meant whirlpool, right?
I think so. I'm pretty
Mhm.
sure. Yep. This next one, no, I don't know. I don't know if I should laugh at this or not. Maybe I'm just different. I get along with my family really well. And apparently this is kind of a popular one, but it's just a stone at the entryway right in front of the house, kind of set in these rocks. It says, "Friends welcome, family by appointment." Tells a lot about the family relationship, I guess. I don't know. I couldn't imagine having something like that out in front of my house, but different families, I guess.
And you
Okay.
can remove the rock from your landscaping when your family comes over so they don't know.
Because they had to make an appointment and they're coming. What if they just show up?
Then you're in trouble.
Yeah, I guess.
This next one, is this a recent one? I think I've seen this post on Facebook and Instagram recently. This is Melind in front of a doorway.
Yep.
And yeah, and there's this piece of cardboard someone wrote on and it says, "Low doorway. Ouch." And Melind is literally, his head is above the top of the doorway. He's standing right in front of it.
Yes. And Melind is not a tall guy. I mean, he and I are the same height. I think maybe he's got an inch on me or something. I mean, he's like 5'10", 5'11", something like that. But his eyes are about at the top of the door frame. Yeah. Love that. Thank you, Melind. Love the selfie.
Yeah.
All right. This next one, this was hand carved into the top of a chimney crown, and it's in block letters. So someone carved this when the chimney was poured. It's, it's like written in soft concrete. It says, "Not suitable to burn wood." Love it. Thank you so much for the tip.
First of all, it's amazing that they have such a nice crown, because that's a typical, problem we see on most chimneys, is that the concrete crown is either not there or it's crumbled and just dilapidated. But this one has such a beautiful one. It's funny to me that they carved in it, "Not suitable to burn wood." I wonder if the homeowner knew that, whatever contractor did that, put the note in there.
I wondered the same thing. Does the homeowner know that it says this? And it couldn't have been the homeowner, because, it could have if the homeowner was a chimney contractor. But I mean, This is a nice looking crown. Someone definitely knew what they were doing when they poured
it looks like they had a professional.
Yeah. I'm thinking the homeowner has no idea that somebody carved this into the top of their crown. And they're probably a little annoyed that there's this admonishment about using the fireplace.
Yeah.
Carved into the top. But as a home inspector, I love it. Thank you for the heads up. I will put that note in my report.
Hey, there you go. The next one is a picture of a light switch, and it's got two switches on it. Both are down. And on the right switch, someone wrote, stuck on a piece of tape above it, says, "Pizza."
Pizza. Yeah.
Pizza switch.
So presumably you flip the switch on and pizza arrives, right?
One would think that's what makes sense.
Yeah. Well, I can tell you.
Did you try it?
I took that picture. I tried it. I waited over 45 minutes and nothing showed up. So I put it in my report. I wrote it
Defect.
up. I said, pizza switch is broken. No pizza showed up. No, I honestly, this was a switch it turned on the light to the front porch. So obviously ordered pizza a lot.
Oh my gosh.
You order pizza, you better flip this switch on. So
this is a picture. Switch. I've seen this picture for years, because I think this picture is included in a lot of the CE that Structure Tech teaches for real estate agents.
Yeah,
and
I most of my classes with this photo.
Yeah, I never knew that was the front entryway switch. That's hilarious.
Yes, exactly. Yep. Now you know the story behind that one.
Yeah, it's good.
All right. Tessa, I got to ask you if you understand this one. This is another light switch, and this one of them says it's a double switch. One of them says outdoor lights. The other one says the power of Grayskull. Do you know what this means, Tessa?
I have no clue what this means. Please explain.
There was a cartoon on called He-Man. And there was this character who he'd be a normal person, and he would call on the power of Grayskull to turn him into He-Man. And then he'd be this big hulking guy, and he'd beat up the bad guys. And whenever it would happen, there would be this big flash of light behind him. And it would illuminate the whole screen. Everything would turn white. And so presumably this switch goes to some really bright lights, like what I have in my garage.
Yes.
About last week, I should probably label my garage light the power of Grayskull. But just a delightful picture for anybody who's maybe over 40. They might get this reference.
So did you turn on these lights? Do you know the story of what they illuminated?
You know what? I never got the story behind this one. I did not take this picture myself.
Well, you'll have to ask the team.
I think I remember who took this. Maybe I'll have to come back with an update on that.
Yeah. That'd be good.
All right. This next one, you've seen this before, haven't you? This is a recent one too.
Oh, yes. We can't read this on air. Well, we could, but then we would have to warn our audience. We try not to drop the F-bomb, but that is actually written on this next note.
Yeah, I said, it's a seller's market when he got this. It's what you see for a showing. It's on the front door and it's printed. It says, please take off your shoes. But then someone wrote in marker between your and shoes, they wrote effing with arrows pointing at it. Like, wow. Okay. You have got a chip on your shoulder and I haven't even come into your house yet.
Oh, there must be a story that goes along with that.
I would have, my assumption is that it was a rental situation and they had people coming into the house with dirty shoes and they got sick of it, but who knows? Yep. How welcoming is that?
Very welcoming. Yeah. It makes me want to buy that house.
Right.
Okay. The next picture, it's looking at a basement and it's the ceiling of an unfinished basement. So you can see all the framing and everything and the floor joist. And there's this light fixture base that's attached to the side of this joist and there's wiring coming into it. And there's no light bulb screwed into it, but there is a piece of yellow tape taped to this porcelain base. And it says, what does it say?
It says unoperable.
You know what? It does the job. We got the point.
I think I get the point. I think it means the light doesn't work, right?
I think so.
Yeah. But
and you know what? It's nice of them to label that because as a home inspector, if there's no light bulb in it, I mean, if you're running short on time, ideally we would note that there's no light bulb installed and we weren't able to test it. But there are probably lots of inspectors that don't have the time to do that and they just walk right past it. And then the next homeowner moves in, puts a light bulb in, it doesn't work. And then, of course, the home inspector is held accountable for not catching it. So thank you for putting a piece of bright yellow tape with a note on it for us.
We get the point. Even if it's not a word, doesn't matter. We know what you mean. Yep.
We appreciate the effort.
Exactly.
Okay, what's this next sign say?
This next one, this concludes our list. I've got a buddy, Trigvi, who I did this inspection for. And I was on his podcast and it's a podcast for a company. It's not his personally, but his company's podcast. And we were talking about blogging and social media and all this. And this note came up and that's what made me think I should do a compilation of all of our favorite notes was this note I found at a house that Trigvi was buying. And it says, please don't run water here. Plumber is on his way! ! Our teenager clogged the toilet. No, see, I feel like you could have stopped at plumber is on his way. That's all you had to say. But then they got to assign blame. They say, our teenager clogged the toilet. All right, now you just threw your teen under the bus. And they could have stopped there. Just throw your teenager under the bus. We're good. But they didn't stop there. They continued on. They said, we are suspecting it is a condom. Why do you need to share all of these details? Like, I don't care. I don't care what you suspect. And you only suspect it. And even if you knew what it was, you don't need to say what it is. Like, none of this matters. I don't know. How awful for the teen living at this house. Like,
oh my gosh. So much information in that note.
Yes. But I will never forget this one. And this was probably 10 years ago now, but still.
First and the last time we will ever discuss a condom on this show.
Probably so. But it sure was hilarious.
That's ridiculous. Oh my gosh.
Yep.
I'm sure you could probably do a part 2 of this, Reuben.
I'm sure, but man, I'd have to go through a lot more photos to come up with that. we'll just have to start thinking about this, and there surely will be a part 2. It just might be another 15 years. That's all.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Yep. Don't touch that dial.
Well, thanks for sharing those, Reuben. We thoroughly enjoyed them.
All right. Well, good to see you, Tess. Can't
to
wait
see
for our
you
next
too.
episode. And I think we may have a guest on the next one. That's a teaser. No promises yet, though. We'll see.